Hi there. I just wanted to share with you a somatic process I myself used yesterday to help process and release some really deep and old fears. What happened is that I was writing someone an email and I made a request and I felt in my body um, fear. I felt fear that because I was making a request, that they were going to be angry about it. Um, so I really had like a felt, embodied expectation that if I made a request, I was going to be met with hostility, to be deliberately thwarted, punished, criticized. So really old stuff. I know where it goes way back to. And so what I did was I did a little bit of journaling, but I had the feeling in my body, and so I began to explore it. First, I located it. I kind of did a body scan and asked myself, where am I feeling this deep fear in my body? And it was in my lower right abdomen. And then I breathed into it and asked myself, how big is it? And it was about the size of maybe a thermos or a large softball, but it was more skinny and tall like a thermos. And I breathed into that. This, and then I asked myself, what color is it? This fear that is kind of thermos sized in my right side of my body. And it was gray, kind of a cool, steely gray. Not like the dark gray that's warm, but cool and steely. And then I asked myself, how dense is this thing? And what I felt into is that it was hollow. It was kind of metal, not a sheet metal, but it had some thickness to it, as if it was a canister, maybe a quarter-inch thick of metal. Um, and I asked myself what the temperature was, and it was slightly cooler than my body temperature. Each step along the way, I breathed into it and I held myself. I provided some touch, so I was using touch, breath. I kept breathing into it. And each time that I did it, I would take 3 breaths into it, add a little sound on the exhale. Um, um, then really feel into it again and notice, did anything change? And what I noticed is that it grew smaller. It was still gray. It was kind of the same shape, still hollow, and it was smaller. Then I had the sense that I needed to make bigger sounds because I asked myself, what kind of sounds would express the emotions that are held here in this thing that's about the size of a small thermos now, that's gray and kind of metal, but it's hollow and a bit cool. And I knew that I needed to scream because what I sensed was rage, frustration, um, for all the times when I didn't ask for what I needed because this fear got in the way. And then earlier in my life, the times when I was met with hostility and shaming for asking for things. I learned early on that my needs didn't matter and it wasn't safe to ask them. And so I stopped. And it's hard, it's getting easier as I heal, but I felt it in my body. So it was coming up to be healed. So I was out on the patio doing this breath and stuff. So I came inside and I got a pillow. And so I asked my body, breathed into that place in my body where I was healing this. What kind of sound would express the emotions that are locked in this part of my body? And so I screamed like this, but I used the pillow so that I wouldn't like freak my neighbors out. And I did it quite a few times because there was a lot of emotion in there. And some tears came up as I did it, and I just let him out. I did some crying again. Good to have maybe water on hand because I feel it in my throat. So I screamed for a while and then breathed into it. Also, screaming, you take in a lot of breath, so you're automatically bringing energy and breath in. So I held that part of my body again after some screaming, breathed into it. I focused on sending loving kindness into this place in my body and to accept that my body was wise in trying to like tuck it away, stuff it away somewhere that I could then exist without asking for my needs to get met because earlier in my life, that was the safest course of action. All the things we do, tucking our emotions away in some place in our body, kept us safe enough when we were younger or safer. And now at this point in my life, that does not serve me well. So I have these tools, breathing into it and then pausing, feeling that part of my body and exploring where is it located? What is its color? What is its shape? What's its temperature? What's its density? Breathing into it a few times, sending loving kindness and healing energy. One other thing to do is notice where it feels most at ease in my body. Doing a scan. Right now, my pelvis is feeling pretty good. It's relaxed. So I could hold my pelvis and then share that pleasure and ease that's in my pelvis with the part of my body, kind of been breathing and connecting between the two of them. Like it can be like a buddy system. I'm helping out the part that's still holding on to stuff with a place in my body that feels more resourced, open, and pleasurable. That's another way of working with it. And then and adding sound. What is this? What's held here? What needs to be expressed? And maybe getting a pillow, doing some screaming. If there's a movement that would express it, maybe it's punching or slamming or squeezing. Squeezing goes really good together with yelling too. So, really getting physical in expressing what's held in the tissues so that your body gets a chance to move them out. I felt so much better after I did this yesterday, and I hope that this is helpful to you. Just whenever you happen to notice, oh, yeah, I just reacted, there's something there, and I'm feeling it in my body, to take a break, spend some time alone, and explore it. And please reach out if you have any questions. Feel free to make comments in the chat. And thanks for joining me today. Take care.